How's it going? So I was just about to make some fried cucumber sandwiches, and I thought that it'd be really fun to do a video and show you guys how I do it. I have never heard anybody else in the entire world eating fried cucumber sandwiches except for my mother and my grandmother. So this is a recipe that's been passed down. It's super simple, and you usually have all the ingredients that you need on hand as long as you have some bread and some cucumbers. So we're gonna get started. First thing we wanna do is peel our cucumbers.
Can I just show these awesome green onions we got from your grandma yesterday?
We stopped by to see my grandma, of course, stayed our distance, and we got some nice green onions from her yard.
Fresh picked, awesome.
She has them growing right up by her house, so she told us to take as much as we wanted.
I can't wait to be growing our own. I have never heard of fried cucumber sandwiches either.
I made him try them when we first got married. I've made my kids try them. Some of them like them. Kinley turned up her nose when I said that's what we're having right now. So I usually rinse these off, and then we're just gonna slice them. You don't want them too thin, but not too thick. So I usually just cut the end off and then slice them kind of like this. Okay. And we are going to bread them, and then we are going to fry them. Okay, so now that we have all of our cucumbers sliced nice and thin, we are going to get our milk in a bowl and also our flour in a bowl. So I just put a nice shallow little bit so I can dip my cucumbers in. And then what we put in the other bowl is flour, salt, and pepper, and that's it. And you can make it exactly how you like it. If you like more pepper, go ahead and add more pepper and or salt, same thing. So I just fill this bowl up with some flour, and sometimes I'll be making it and I have to go back and make some more flour because I didn't make enough. So it'd be nice if there was an exact recipe, but this is just kind of an eyeball it type of recipe. And you could probably get really creative if you wanted to and add some other seasonings in here, maybe some garlic salt or onion salt or anything like that. We always just make it with good old salt and pepper. And I'm just gonna stir this up to make sure that it's all mixed in. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt and pepper. Okay, so the next step is to make sure that you have oil in a pan, nice and warm. You just want it, you know, like a 1/4 of an inch with oil, just at least so it's covered. They don't need to be completely covered over top of these because you're actually gonna flip them as you're going. So just enough for the bottom of the pan. So we're just gonna fill the bottom of the pan with some oil. Doesn't have to be too thick, but as long as you have the whole pan covered. And turn it on, probably somewhere between medium and high just to get it going until you can decide if it's the right temperature for your cucumbers. Because you want them to be a little bit cooked through. You want the edges of the flour mixture to be nice and golden like they're deep fried. But it's still yummy when the cucumber is got a little bite in it too. So they don't need to be super, super cooked. Your cucumbers are cut and your oil is hot in your pan. You're gonna start the dipping into the milk and the flour, or dredging them, I think I've heard. So I always use my fingers to do this, and it makes a huge mess, and then I have to rinse my hands off. But I've tried it with forks and spoons, and I'm just more of a hands-on person. So you could totally use tongs or forks or spoons or whatever you're comfortable with. And then dip them into the flour and just coat both sides. Doesn't have to be too thick, it's just kind of a nice coating. And then they'll look like this, all ready to go into the pan. And so then you just place them right in the pan, and you can see if the oil is hot enough. You can turn it a little warmer or a little cooler if you need to, but you just let it go like this for just a little bit, and then you're gonna flip them right over and do the other side. So I like to set myself up near the stove so that I can just go straight from the cucumber into the milk, into the flour, into the pan. And then next to the pan over here, I have a plate with some paper towels on. And when they are done, after I've flipped them, they go straight on there to start draining off some of the oil. So just as soon as it starts to get a little bit brown, you can flip them right over with your tongs or your fork or whatever works best for you. So I'm just gonna get some more of those in the pan. You can flip them right over with your tongs or your fork or whatever works best for you. Got a couple that are done. They're nice and crispy. Just go ahead and transport them over here to start draining. And these ones are ready to flip. I usually work on one side of the pan. So one side is the ones I've just put in. The other ones have already been flipped. That way just keeps it a little easier in my mind of which ones are done as you're going along. So if you're just making enough for one person for one sandwich, you probably could do it with half a cucumber, up to a whole cucumber. I like eating them just straight when they're done, right off there. They don't even need to be in a sandwich, they're so good. But if you're doing it for more people, then you want to add more cucumbers. And we have 4 people today that want a sandwich, so I did 3 whole cucumbers. So every so often I have to rinse my fingers off because I kind of turn into a flour monster. So this is definitely a hazard of using your own hands to do it. Okay, so we've cooked all of our cucumbers. We have them here on a plate. And I'm gonna show you now how we turn this into a sandwich. So you can use any kind of bread you like. We usually use some type of white bread. Okay, so you may be thinking that fried cucumbers, very similar to fried zucchini. So here's probably where I'm gonna lose you and where I lost my husband when I first tried to get him to eat these. So we eat ours with ketchup. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It sounds weird, but it's amazing. If you're a little nervous, about it, you can take one of the cucumbers that you've cooked, make sure they're cool enough, and just put a dot of ketchup, right? Oh my goodness.
I feel like you should use ranch or something.
Ketchup, woo! Amazing. Soft and juicy inside, they're amazing.
Look at this, I made my own green onion patch like you buy at the store, straight from Grandma's garden.
So I remember my grandpa, this is my other grandparents, not the ones we were talking about with the fried cucumbers, but I think it was green onions.
In the store.
I remember every day at lunch, she would have green onions. They seemed to have a bigger bulb on the end, sitting in a glass of water, and he would just pick it up and crunch right into it as we were eating lunch. So that's my fun memory. And they looked like they were green onions because they had the green on top, but just a bigger bulb on the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to put these on a sandwich. So I have about 6 or 7 cucumbers on here. And then I take my ketchup and just like this. Oh, perfect sandwich, I'm so excited. Okay, and then I put the bread on. And here's your sandwich.
I'll take mine without the ketchup, please.
He's a baby. These are so good.
That's weird.
And they remind me of being a kid. My mom made them all the time for us. Love them. You should give them a try and definitely try them with ketchup.
Go what? I'm just trying mine with ranch because I don't know about the ketchup thing. I don't know about ranch either. I'm not a fan of ranch or ketchup really, but it seems like it needs something.
Ben's trying his with ranch. He's not willing to do the ketchup route.
Baby.
He's a baby.
Sorry.
So as we were making this video, I was texting with my mom and she sent me a picture because she had made some fried cucumber sandwiches earlier in the day. Great minds think alike. Thanks for watching.